Man, I don't know about y'all, but when I get on social media, time and time again, I find myself just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I think social media does it to us, right? You look at a video and then without you knowing, the next video comes and then the next video comes and then the next video comes. But the trouble that I have with is just scrolling and liking every single picture and not having a clue with what I like. And then 30 minutes later, I don't even remember what I even looked at because it was so mindless and it was so normal for me just to scroll and scroll and scroll and like and like and like. And a couple weeks ago, this got me in trouble. I was scrolling and liking everything on my Instagram feed. And about 30 minutes later, I get a call from an old friend, a friend from Troy. And that friend was sitting at a table with a bunch of guys that I have poured my life into. For 3 years of my college career, a lot of nights and a lot of weekends and hours and late nights talking about Jesus were spent. And a group of guys saw a picture of a girl that used to go to Troy that's now a model. And it's a picture that I liked in that mindless time of just scrolling and liking and scrolling and liking. And after I liked it, they saw it and they questioned it. They said, wasn't Nick the guy talking to me about Jesus last year? Wasn't Nick the guy in January that was leading us in a Bible study? But then he just likes this picture. So I got a phone call and they called me out. They're like, Nick, what's going on? And I had no idea of the picture they were even talking about. I had to search the girl's name and I had to look at her last post. And I was like, I've never seen this photo in my life. I was like, there's somebody else that hacked me. I don't have this. Like, I never even looked at this photo. But my profile liked it. And I had no idea. I had no clue what I liked. And so I didn't have a defense. I said, guys, I'm sorry. I had to unlike the photo. And I even unfollowed the account because if she's going to post things like that I don't need to see, I need to unfollow that account. And so they called me out on the photo that I liked. But then I called myself out, and they don't even know this, but since they called me out, then I called myself out on the mindlessness that I continued to spend on social media. Not knowing what I was liking, not knowing what I was looking at. It was unconscious effort. I was careless on my time in social media. And because this happened to me, this is why this series, Social Faith, is so important to me. And this happened 2 weeks ago, and we already had this planned. That's why social faith is so important to me and the rest of the student ministry team. And that's exactly why we're doing this series. And this series is going to highlight the positives and negatives social media has on our faith. It's going to highlight the thing that is taking over our culture, the thing that is in almost every one of our lives. The things that it's the first thing we do in the morning, and it's the thing that we do before we go to bed. It is taking over our lives. So the next 4 weeks, we're going to teach y'all and talk about how to follow God, how to walk with God, by using our social media platforms. And I don't want y'all for the next 4 weeks to just think that we're going to say, don't go on social media. Because that's not what we're saying. I use social media every single day. Our student ministry team uses social media every single day. So we're not saying don't go on social media. If you have it, great. Stay on it. Use it. We want you to engage your followers. We want you to engage your friends. We just don't want you to engage like them. We want you to be different. We want you to be set apart. So the bottom line for us tonight is we have to think before we post. We have to think before we post. And if you're here tonight and you're one of the people that don't have social media, you don't have social media on your phone, you choose not to have social media, I'm saying that's great. I'm not telling you to get social media. I think that's great that you don't have social media. But if you're here tonight, please don't check out. Please don't say, oh, I can miss the next 3 weeks because you don't have social media. Because it's so easy to just change the word post into speak or act. We need to think before we speak. We need to think before we act. We need to think before we talk bad or mouth off to a parent. We need to think before we act out in class. So whether it's online or in person, we need to think before we do in order to protect our witness. We have an amazing opportunity to live for God on social media. We have an amazing opportunity to use our platform. It's the first time ever that I can share my faith with a guy in Denver, Colorado, just as much as I can share my faith in a guy that I meet at Providence, or my waitress at Snow White or Demas's. I can share my faith just as easily because of my social platform, because I'm on social media. So my challenge for you tonight, my question for you is, does what you post say that Jesus is the most important thing in your life? So tonight we're going to be in Matthew 12, starting in verse 36. And I don't know if you ever thought about it, but Jesus doesn't use the word Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat, but he does warn us that our words are important. So that's what we're going to read in Matthew 12, starting in verse 36. So it says, I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give an account for every careless word they speak. For by your words, you will be justified, and by your words, you will be condemned. And the thing that stuck out at me in verse 36 is the word careless. People will give an account for every careless word they speak. We have to slow down and really think about what we are saying, what our lives are producing. I love that Jesus just doesn't rebuke us here, though. He doesn't say, oh, you'll just pay for the stupid stuff you say. But he says, your words will be used for good, could be used for good, or your words can be used for harm. Be mindful of that. Your words will expose the condition of your soul. Your words will expose the condition of your soul. And this is a big deal to Jesus. If we want to be real about this Christian thing, if we want to take our walk with Christ to the next level, we have to take Jesus seriously. And Jesus takes our words and what we say on social media and the post and what we comment and share, all of it, we have to take that serious in order to take Jesus seriously. To be successful on social media, we have to have self-control. Self-control happens in two different places when it comes to social media. The first place is, and our first point tonight, is how we post. And when we think about how we post, two questions usually come to mind. If I'm on social media, right, and I'm about to post something, and I need to ask the question, is this post going to honor God? Is this post going to honor my family? Is this post right? We probably shouldn't post it, right? Can we all agree on that? Yeah, we probably should stick away from that post. We also have to protect our relationships. So if Gant Brassfield and a girl break up, and then Paxton Davidson starts dating that girl, best friends, they start dating that girl. He starts dating that girl. And out of spite, Paxton posts a picture of Gant's ex-girlfriend and then tags Gant in the comments. That's not okay, right? That's not protecting that relationship. That's not protecting that friendship. That is not also, that is all, because you're not protecting that relationship, that is not honoring to God. So we also not just need to ask the question of, does this honor God? But we also need to ask the question, does this protect our relationships? We also have to think before we post. We have to continue to think before we post. So that comes when we have to answer the question, when? So if we think before we post, we got to think about every single thing that happens in social media. It all matters. Every post, every tweet, every like, every retweet. Even the Snapchat that's of the ceiling to keep your 20 streaks alive that day. That matters, guys. And the reason why that matters is because you usually have a phrase that is on top of that photo. And those words matter. It's not just a picture of the ceiling. It's what the content is in that photo that's on top of the photo. Even the crazy Snapchat pictures that is of the ceiling or somebody's forehead or the desk in front of you, those matter. Also what matters is the opinions of your followers matter. Maybe a lot of your followers are non-believers. And what if a non-believer sees your post or sees my post and they start forming opinions? If my posts that I give aren't honoring to God, then they say, oh, this guy says he's a Christian. I know he goes to church. He talks about Jesus a lot. But then on social media, he's acting the same way I do. Why do I need Jesus, right? Why is this Jesus guy so important? And just like when I was with the group of buddies called me and they're like, Nick, what are you doing? Even though I didn't even know what that photo was that I was just scrolling mindlessly, they formed an opinion that was valid and was real because of my social media account. Even if I didn't want that picture. Even if I didn't mean to like that picture. Even if I don't want those opinions to be about me, your social media is an extension of who you are. It's a reflection of your heart. We have to have self-control. And it's in how we post, but it's also maybe even the same level, or maybe even a little bit more important, of how we respond to posts. So our second place that we need self-control in social media is how we respond to posts. Because if you think about it, we receive more content than we can ever post. Even if you're one of the crazy people that post 6 times a day, I'm sorry if that's you, but I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to follow you back if you post 6 times a day. And if I do follow you now and you post 6 times a day, I'm going to unfollow you. But even if you post 6 times a day and you have, let's just say you have 14 followers, and I know no one has just 14 followers. So if you have 14 followers and half of them post once a day, then they're producing more than you are posting. So receiving content is just as or even more as important than posting content. So we have to be on guard. We have to be aware of the content we're receiving. And when we receive content, we're going to feel a lot of different emotions. So if Joseph posted a picture, it can make me happy, it can make me mad, it can make me angry, it can make me sad. I can feel all those emotions. Or I can just feel betrayal or frustration. If I was Gant and Paxton posted the picture of my ex-girlfriend, I would feel betrayed. And those emotions are valid. Those emotions are okay. But not every emotion that we feel requires a response. Not every emotion that we feel requires a response. So in James 1:19 and 20, James speaks to this. It says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to become angry. because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. We have to stop, take a step back, and ask the question. Every action, every post, every response is going to draw attention to something. And more often than not, that attention is on me. That attention is on us. That attention is on the human person and not on God. And so we need to take a step back. And I think we always get James 1:19 twisted in our culture. We are slow to listen, but quick to speak. And James 1:19 tells us to do the opposite. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. If the attention's on us, there's no way the attention can be on Christ. If the attention is on us, then it's not pointing anyone in a good direction. So I'm not saying when you post, you have to post Bible verses and pray for people like on your story. Like those things are good, those things are awesome, but I'm not saying to follow God on social media, you have to do that. That's not what I'm saying. But we have to listen slowly. We have to be quick to listen. And we have to be aware of what the other person posted. And before responding, before being quick to like or to being quick to comment or being quick to retweet or share, we need to ask the Lord for wisdom and help on how our words can be encouraging and how our words can honor God. That's what we need to ask God is we need to, before saying send on that Snapchat or that comment, we need to take a step back and we need to ask God, how can I encourage this person? Or how can this bring honor to you? Is my comment worth it? And guess what, guys? A lot of the times, it's okay to keep scrolling, right? It's okay that you don't have to hit the like button every time. Your friends aren't gonna, like if they're truly your friends, they're not gonna care if you like it or not. It's not gonna matter. You don't owe anybody a response. You don't owe anybody a comment. It's okay to leave that person on red, right? If it's not honoring to God, don't like it. It's that simple. Don't share it. Don't do anything. But the thing that I need y'all to really remember and sink in for you is just like you don't owe anybody anything, you don't owe anybody a comment or a like, nobody owes you that either. And that's okay. If you don't get the likes you were looking for, you don't get that comment from your buddy, like, it's okay. Guys, it's not the end of the world. New trends are going to come and go. I feel like there's a new TikTok dance every single day. I can't even do the ones that happen, like the original ones, like the OG ones, right? I have no idea how to do those. I'm terrible at it. I'm not going to try up here. But I'm definitely not going to go and know the ones that are coming out tomorrow. That's for sure. That's for sure. But even if you haven't been great on social media, or you got a Facebook when you were 9 and you faked your birthday, but you made some really dumb post then. Or like me when I had a Twitter back in the day, it wasn't always honoring to God, right? And that's okay. But people aren't going to remember the post 3 years from now, even probably 6 months from now. The post will fade just like how the first TikTok dance has faded away and there's new TikTok dances. Like another post is coming for people to talk about. But the thing that people are going to remember is how you made them feel. I talk to so many people that are hurt by something that happened on social media. And they can't even tell me the post that was made. They just know that I have beef, or I'm mad at this person because they made me feel that post 6 years ago. And now I haven't forgiven them because of that post. I still think of them badly because that post made me feel bad. I can't even tell you what that post said, but I can tell you how it made me feel. So if we truly want to be welcomers here at TBS Students, we have to start by using our platforms to build people up. Why can't we start there, right? Why can't that be our starting point? If we want to be welcomers, why can't we use our Instagram or our Snapchat or our Twitter? If y'all have Facebook, y'all's Facebook. Why can't we use that to build people up and to welcome people there? Tonight I want to end with a challenge. So this week before you post, just this week, I'm just going to make it real simple for us. Before you come back to midweek next week, before you post for the next 7 days, can we do something for me? Before we click send or we respond or we like, let's ask God, does this reflect me or does this reflect you? Does this allow my followers, my friends, the people around me to see you in my life? If the answer is no, don't press send. Don't hit the like button. Don't comment. Don't, even if it's a post that you're posting that is taking the focus off of God, don't post it. We have an amazing opportunity to use our social media platforms for God. We just must think before we post. Let me pray for us.